Governor later, but State's Attorney Anita Alvarez is with us right now. She certainly knows her way around a courtroom, has worked as a prosecutor, personally prosecuting cases for many years, put some very bad guys behind bars. Ms. Alvarez, you're seeking a third term in the March 15th Democratic primary, facing two women who are campaigning to unseat you. Both have denounced your handling of the investigation of the Laquan McDonald video of his death and the investigation of his death. And they say it's a symptom of broader problems during your 7 years in office.
Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. So you've got the floor.
My response. Well, my response number one is, neither one of my opponents have the experience that I have in running this office. And, to investigate and eventually charge on a police murder is a complex, it's a complex investigation. It's complex. It's not the same as charging when one civilian shoots another. It just simply isn't.
All right, let's go to some statistics that you have been quoting. Statistics on U.S. police involved shootings over the last decade. They get me fired up. I think we have a graphic of those. It includes what's displayed here. U.S. police shootings charged over the last decade or so, 54 officers, convicted just 11 at the last time we checked. The average time of the investigation from the start to charging, 261 days. And that was a source to the Washington Post and supplied by your spokeswoman. What's your point here? Why do you think, why are you reciting these stats all over town?
My point is this. It takes a long time to investigate these police shootings because you have to put more into investigating police-involved shootings. And here's why. The complexity of the investigation is complex because officers do have a right to use deadly force. They have a right to use force. So when you're investigating a case like this, a police shooting, you have to know a lot of things. You have to know, number one, that use of force model. You have to know that use of force model. You have to know how this...
Well, so cut through the baloney for me for a minute, or not the baloney, but the lawyer talk. There's a Supreme Court ruling named Garrity, right?
Absolutely.
And it says... it gives huge, wide latitude to police officers when they pull out their guns and start shooting. What is the grounds under which they can't shoot? And let's take a look at this video of Laquan McDonald, the famous, infamous video that's put you on the hot seat here, and Mayor Emanuel and the Chicago police. Tell me why this video. What are we looking at? I think that's the other... we need the Laquan McDonald video here, the one that... the dash cam video. Here he is. Here's the young man. He's walking down the street. You narrate what we're looking at and why this is not compelling. Look, the cop pulls out his gun and kills him.
It is compelling.
Jesse Jackson said those officers, his fellow officers, should have arrested him on the spot.
This video is very compelling, Mike. And the first time that I saw this video, I had the same reaction that I believe everyone here in the city of Chicago and all of Cook County had.
So why didn't you charge him right away?
Because this video, it is explosive and is compelling, but it is just one key piece of evidence in this case. In order to develop a case against an officer, to charge, I just charged an officer, Chicago police officer on duty with first-degree murder. That has never happened in the history of this office. And the reason I charge is because I truly believe that is the appropriate charge, and this officer went overboard in his actions. But you're referring to those statistics. Those statistics are important because here's why. 54 police officers charged, they looked at a 10-year period. Only 11 have been convicted. 21 of them have already been found not guilty. The other ones are pending. Many of those cases also included video, and they were not guilty. So when you're looking at a case like this, justice isn't just making an arrest. Justice isn't achieved by making an arrest. Justice is achieved when, at the end of that trial, at the conclusion of all your evidence, that defendant is going to be held accountable for his actions.
Now, one of those 21 that was not found guilty was Dante Servin, who was charged by you in the killing of a young lady, and the case, the judge said you made the wrong charge. And your opponents are citing that as evidence of your ineptitude, or something worse, something darker, conspiring with the police.
Oh, conspiring with the police, that is ridiculous. I charged Officer Servin based on the evidence that we had. I brought the charge that I felt we can actually prove. You know, in this particular case, in the Van Dyke case, I'm bringing charges of first-degree murder because I believe that we will be able to prove the elements of first-degree murder. Dante Servin was an off-duty situation. Different set of facts, much different set of facts than what we have here. You know, he took his gun and he shot over his shoulder. Thought that was a reckless act. I think his actions were reckless. I vehemently disagree with Judge Porter's ruling on this case. And, you know, when I was reviewing the Dante Servin case, what angered me the most was Miss Boyd lost her life walking down an alley. Had nothing to do with what Dante Servin was, you know, maybe the verbal altercation he was getting in with the other people. She was walking down the alley and lost her life. That appalled me. And I brought those charges because I felt those were the elements of the involuntary was what I could prove. The judge disagreed with me.
The judge said you brought the wrong charge.
That's exactly what he said, but he's wrong, and I don't believe
And your opponents say you should have brought... They agree with the
Neither one of my opponents have even tried a murder case. They have not investigated cases like this. I've been in this office 29 years. My very first supervisory role was as the supervisor of the Public Integrity Unit, looking at things just like this: police misconduct, public corruption. I have the experience, and I know you don't want to rush to judgment. I'd rather take my time and get it right than rush to judgment and get it wrong.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the 7 years that Anita Alvarez has been in charge of the state's attorney's office, and we'll take a broader look at the office.